everyone, this is your girl Genty, and I am back with another historical movement. This week's episode, we're going to be discussing about an interesting guy, a musician, an artist, a man of many talents, and this was somebody I mentioned before in a previous episode, which was Xavier Cugat, and we are going to be discussing about, his life, his legacy, and kind of give a little tidbit about who he is. And of course, we're going to do it in the style I usually do, which is the top 5 amazing facts about Xavier Cugat. So for the majority of this episode, I'm gonna call him Xavier. Makes it a little easier for me. So let's start with our first fact. Xavier was born on January 1st, 1900 in Girona, Spain. It's funny, my husband was like, Girona, and when we realized that, I was like, oh snap, I remember that song. So he was born in Girona, Spain, and his parents were Miguel Cugat and Juan Cugat, and his family actually went from Spain and then he immigrated to Cuba when Xavier was just 3 years old. So now we're going to go into our second fact. Xavier studied classical violin and worked as a violinist at the age of 9 in the silent movie theaters to help pay for his education. So a lot of people are like, silent movies? Well, those are movies that were done that had no, voices or anything like that. Like right now, this wouldn't have been possible. Most of the writing would have been up on the screen, and you would have to read it, and it would be with pictures. So he was one of the people that provided the musical scores for those movies. He was first chair violinist, which is a big thing, for the trio. I'm gonna put the name underneath because I am butchering it. Symphony Orchestra. When he wasn't performing, he was actually an artist. He drew a lot during his younger years and then during his earlier work, as he was also working as a musician. He was also an artist. So now we're going to go into our third fact. During his early years, Xavier moved out of Cuba and went to Los Angeles, where he worked as a cartoonist for the Los Angeles Times newspaper during the day, and he would work with his band at night. So he was a man that was working at both ends. He did his art in the morning that paid the bills, and then he worked at nightclubs with his band in the evening. So now we're gonna go into our fourth fact. His music was his pride and joy, and he actually had his breakout moment while he was at the Coconut Grove nightclub, and this was back in 1928. His style of music caught on with others, with many patrons, and his instrumental flair and his charisma with the audience and with his band really set the stage for not only for Latinos, but then also for mainstream US musical stage, pretty much. In the 30s and 40s, he was nicknamed the Rumba King. That was something that was very much popularized, especially in the Latin circles and also in popular culture. So there were a few movies that were also made with his musical scoring, and that actually I will put a few pictures up of some of the movies and things of that nature that you can actually watch a few little clips on YouTube. That's kind of where I got the inspiration of learning more about him. And then last but not least, our fifth fact, he had died on October 27th, 1990. So he was 90 years old when he had passed. He died in Barcelona, Spain. So he went back home to Spain. And he did a lot of work, especially for his people, for the Cuban, Spain, for Latinos in general. He was an icon. He did a lot of great works during his period of time. And I'm actually going to also put on the description below of one of the documentaries that helped me put together this 5 amazing facts about him. There's much more about him. Just like I wanted to add more about his drama and things of that nature, but quite a few of it's alleged, so I didn't want to put it in here. But you could definitely take a deep dive into this man's life. Like I said, he is very much a character in and of itself, and he was definitely one of a kind. So that's it for me for today. So, it's short, sweet, to the point. Hopefully the next one I will, show my face. And hopefully you enjoyed this one. I'm just trying to try a couple different things, see which one is a better fit. And I hope you guys like this. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day. And as always, stay tuned, stay alert, and remember, you are the movement. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye.